If thinking harder led to action, smart people would have the best follow through, but they don't. We talk about doers and thinkers like it's about motivation or discipline, but the difference truly is neurological. It comes down to this: which part of the brain is running the show? This video is brought to you by my HarperCollins published book, Mind Over Explicit Matter. If you're ready to quit porn and reclaim your life mentally and physically, go over to drtrishleigh.com/book. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, and if you lack motivation and discipline, you likely have effort engine failure in the brain. Let me show you how to restore it. Okay, so thinkers rely heavily on planning, insight, analysis, and strategy. That's the prefrontal cortex at work. Now, doers, they rely on a different system, the one that decides whether effort actually starts and continues. That's the part of the brain called the Anterior Cingulate Cortex, or ACC. It's what I call the brain's effort engine. Before you act, the ACC asks one question and one question only: is the effort worth it? And for most people, that question is being answered before they have a chance, and it's no. In modern life, the ACC is very easily miswired. Overstimulation teaches the brain that effort isn't necessary. The screen delivers reward without work. Explicit matter specifically delivers high-level reward without effort. So the ACC quietly stops signaling. Now, this is why effort starts to feel so heavy. Starting feels harder than finishing. You procrastinate even when you care deeply. That doesn't feel like a brain problem to you. It feels like laziness, but it's actually a brain hijack. Here's what actually miswires the ACC effort engine signaling in your brain. Instant reward before effort, primarily. So checking your phone before you start any task, scrolling before you've done anything difficult, watching explicit content before engaging in real life relationship effort. The brain learns one rule: reward comes first and effort is optional at best. Constant stimulation. Your screens are always on. Music, podcasts, notifications, there's no silence. The ACC effort engine never gets space to engage. Effort begins in quiet with intention. Multitasking. You think you're being efficient, but constant switching prevents sustained effort signaling. So initiation gets weaker over time. It leads to what I call effort engine failure. You're constantly busy, but you're never moving forward. Planning without execution. Thinking feels productive. Making lists feels safe. But without action, the effort engine in the brain never fires up. It's like sitting in your car, ready to go, but never initiating the engine by key, button, or even app these days. The brain learns planning replaces effort. Now, this one is key. Dopamine without friction. Endless scrolling. Explicit matter. Algorithmic reward. High dopamine, zero resistance. And eventually, effort feels neurologically expensive. Now, all of this teaches the brain the same lesson. Effort isn't worth the cost. But here's what rewires it: effort before reward. So think of it like this: work out before you relax. Single task focus. Close all those literal and mental tabs. Completion over optimization. Maybe the lawn isn't mowed perfectly, but it's done. Imperfect action is what I've called it for decades. Imperfect action, baby. Delayed gratification. Doing that task you've been putting off before checking your phone. Getting into low stimulation environments. Get out in nature. Journal quietly for 10 minutes in a dim room. Shut down everything else and be present. This retrains the brain to value effort again. Now, one client of mine, he was extremely intelligent, couldn't follow through on basic habits, not because he lacked discipline, but because his anterior cingulate cortex was under-engaged. His brain map showed this very clearly. He was overstimulated, screens, constant input, explicit matter. So effort signaling was suppressed. So we didn't work on mindset, we mapped his brain. Then we used neurofeedback within my neuromodulation program to retrain regulation from the inside out. We reduced stimulation, we restored effort before reward. He rewired his brain. And you know what happened. Initiation became easier. Consistency followed. Nothing magical, just corrected circuitry leading to enhanced performance. So you don't need to become a doer. And you definitely don't need to stop being a thinker. To work optimally, you need both. You need a brain that can plan and then initiate. A brain that can think clearly and follow through. That requires training the part of the brain that starts effort. That part is the anterior cingulate cortex, the effort engine in the brain. And follow through isn't about thinking more. It's about regulating the ACC effort engine so it performs better and you do too. If your car's engine or battery failed, would you go? No, you wouldn't. This is why brain mapping matters. When you can actually see how your effort networks are functioning, you stop guessing. You stop blaming yourself. You can train what's underperforming. That's exactly what we do with brain mapping and neurofeedback. It's not motivation. It's brain rewiring. So if you feel stuck and you think you've tried everything, you haven't tried this with me. So if you want to understand how your brain is allocating effort, please go over and visit drtrishleigh.com. I can help you see with your own eyes what's actually driving or blocking your follow through. And if you haven't watched it yet, please go back to the last video. It will help. The video is Why Most Resolutions Fail and the simple brain-based method that makes habits stick. That video breaks down the effort before reward brain hijack in detail. Follow through is neurological, not personal. It's time to control your brain or it will control you.